How has the security situation in Burkina Faso changed under Ibrahim Traoré? Burkina Faso. A nation once trapped in a spiral of violence, political instability, and a fight for survival. But then, a young captain rose to power. Backhand index pointing right his name. Ibrahim Traoré. Fire some call him the defender. Others call him a threat to the system. But one question remains. Has he really changed the security situation in Burkina Faso? Backhand index pointing right, stick with me until the end, because what we uncover will surprise you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss out on our deep dives into global power shifts. The situation before Traoré. Before Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power in September 2022, Burkina Faso was on the edge of collapse. The country was suffocating under the weight of terrorist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Red triangle pointed up. 80% of the territory was outside government control. Civilians were living in fear. Over 2 million people were displaced. Schools closed. Cities under siege. The army? Disorganized. The leadership? Criticized for inaction. Backhand index pointing right, Burkina Faso was becoming ungovernable. Speech balloon drop a comment. Did you know the situation was this critical before Traoré's arrival? The rise of Ibrahim Traoré. At just 34 years old, Traoré became the youngest head of state in the world after a military coup in September 2022. He promised one thing, the reconquest of the territory. His strategy? Mobilize the army. Arm the civilian volunteers. Cut ties with ineffective international forces. Cooperate with new partners like Russia and the Wagner Group. Backhand index pointing right, he introduced the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP, a bold move to involve local populations in the fight. If you find this analysis valuable, don't forget to like and share this video, it helps us a lot to keep bringing you this kind of content. Security changes under Traoré. So, what has changed? Let's get into the core of the matter. White heavy checkmark 1. Territorial gains. Under Traoré, the Burkinabe army, with support from the VDPs, launched massive offensives. Many areas previously under terrorist control have been recaptured. Supply routes to key cities like Djibo have been reopened after years of isolation. White heavy checkmark 2. Increased national mobilization. Over 50,000 civilian volunteers have been trained and armed to defend their communities. The population feels more engaged and part of the resistance. White heavy checkmark 3. Shift in alliances. Traoré distanced himself from France, cutting military cooperation and signaling a pivot towards new partners like Russia. This geopolitical shift has changed the way the country approaches the security crisis. Backhand index pointing right, but is everything really improving? The complex reality. While Traoré's leadership has inspired hope in some regions, the security situation is far from perfect. Prohibited 1. Persistent attacks. Terrorist groups remain active and still carry out deadly attacks on soldiers and civilians. Some regions are extremely hard to control due to the harsh terrain and guerrilla tactics. Prohibited 2. Humanitarian crisis. The number of displaced people remains high, over 2 million. Basic services like education and healthcare are still largely unavailable in conflict zones. Prohibited 3. Accusations of human rights violations. There are reports of abuses committed by some local militias and security forces, raising concerns about accountability. Speech balloon, what do you think? Can Traoré's methods bring long-term peace, or are they just a temporary fix? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Traoré's approach represents a new era of African leadership. He rejected dependency on traditional Western allies and seeks to build a sovereign response to terrorism. Many young Burkinabes see him as a symbol of resistance, while critics worry about the long-term consequences of turning to actors like Wagner and sidelining democratic processes. Backhand index pointing right, one thing is clear, the the security landscape in Burkina Faso has changed under Ibrahim Traoré, but whether it leads to lasting peace remains to be seen. Burkina Faso's story under Ibrahim Traoré is still being written. Victory is not guaranteed. But one thing is certain, the fight for security has entered a new phase. Backhand index pointing right. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss our next geopolitical analysis. Speech balloon. I want to hear from you. Is Traoré a liberator or a future dictator? Drop your thoughts in the comments.